Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Total Extreme Wrestling 2016 Developers Journal / Dev Diary. We are here on March 23rd, 23rd, and we have a Dev Diary to get to. Let's get to it. Scrolling down. Do a theme day today. 10 things that directly affect your matches. Interesting. Cash-ins. To simulate cashing in, there are now Midway Edition and Late Edition Road Agent notes. These mean that the targeted worker does not wrestle the full match, but instead appears either partway through or right before the finish. Partway through being midway, right before the finish being Late Edition, of course. This obviously means their ring. This obviously penalizes their ring work somewhat, as they were not fully involved, but it penalizes. What I'm taking from this is that it penalizes their addition to the match, but not the actual match itself. Like, you won't get a penalty for their ring. You won't get a penalty for the match. You'll get a penalty because they weren't involved in the match for most of the match, obviously. Or you might not get a penalty at all, but instead it doesn't calculate his that worker's addition to the match immediately. I don't know. I'm sorry. These notes allow real-world situations to be simulated without the need of a complex booking set of instructions. By God. For example, if you wanted to model the last year's WrestleMania main event, you'd actually book it as a three-way bout to begin with, but have Rollins said as a late addition. This way he can be involved only in the finish, while the in-ring stuff is primarily handled by Reigns and Lesnar. This saves you from having to go the messy route of having a singles match with no contest, ending followed up immediately by a short three-way, which would potentially cause a lot of problems and tank your show rating. No one likes a short three-way. These notes also allow you to indulge your inner Teddy Long. Yes! And have Holla Holla players. And have a singles bout spontaneously turn into a tag team bout because Holla Holla, my God! Simply by booking it as a tag team match to begin with, but having one partner from each team listed as a midway edition. Again, this makes booking much cleaner as you're not having to make two separate bookings for what is essentially the same bout. The only thing sad about this is that, as I've read on the TEW 2016 forum, it's not the same without the 1 minute Teddy Long Holla Holla promo. And they're right. Keep it simple, stupid. A new road agent note this targets a specific worker and tells them to stick to the basics. This means that the worker has far less chance of botching anything, but also naturally gives a penalty to his ring work due to him being limited. This note is useful for building up green workers slowly or stopping clumsy workers, crippling the rest of the roster. So, like a Prometheus in the Cornellverse, someone who's very green, has very little actual skill, but you want to use because he's a giant, has a lot of star quality, and is probably an overness machine. So you want to use him because he's good and can get overness onto your other workers. But other than that, you don't really want to use him until he's trained up and developed. Which when he gets developed, he's pretty good usually. I mean, not like god level worker, but good enough that he can handle his own, and star quality / being a giant makes up for the rest. Intentional DQ. Thank you. A new raid agent this allows the worker to intentionally get himself disqualified. Awesome. Instead of having to book a DQ finish where I pretend that he gets intentionally disqualified, it's actually an intentional DQ. And a new worker road agent note. A new worker road agent note. A new road agent note. This allows the worker to what am I saying? Intentionally get counted out. That's also good. And a rage DQ. A new road agent note. This allows one worker to get disqualified because he went insane with rage. Bah, like a la Ken Shamrock. Eating up. A selfish worker who is a far better worker in a match now has the option of using his advantage to take too much of the match himself, purposefully eating up his opponent and ruining the match slightly to make his opponent look worse. This may have to do due to a quirk in his personality, like being selfish, because he was having a bad day, which I don't think anyone can really predict. Or because he just didn't like the other wrestler, which you can't prevent. In the sense, like, you cannot put them together. By counterpoint to eating up, or the counterpoint to eating up, journalist workers who are booked to win and are in the ring with an opponent who is weaker and lower down the card than them can now intentionally go out of their way to make the opponent look great in defeat, giving them an extra popularity boost and potentially creating a friendly relationship. Similar to the Scott Hall Chris Jericho situation, where, as I know it, Scott Hall was booked to win a match easily because Chris Jericho was in the lower card and a cruiserweight, and Scott Hall was a big guy and a heavyweight and up the card. But Scott Hall actually went into business for himself and let Jericho take the win. Then the next week or a few weeks later, he got the win back. But still, that's great on Scott Hall, putting over a young talent like that. That's one of the that shows to me that I don't know. Good on Scott Hall. Enhanced match report details. This is awesome. The match reports now have been enhanced in two ways. Firstly, it can contain comments on people being carried, who were the MVPs, etc. Secondly, individual performance levels are now noted by the road agent too. This is awesome. I love this. Yes. This allows the user to get a better sense of who is actually doing the work in a match and who is just coasting along. This is awesome. Like I said many times, this is great. TEW 2016. It's getting even better. Stunt bumps. A companion note to the crazy bump. A stunt bump works the same way, except that the bump is more controlled and possibly gimmicked, and therefore is safer but slightly less spectacular. This would cover, for example, when a guy gets tossed off the stage onto crash mats, with the padding quickly being removed before the cameras get there to give the illusion that it was much more dangerous than it really was. And better jobber matches. By request, the penalty about the fans are put off by a match between jobbers, by God, no longer applies as the match is safely stowed away in a dark match. Which is cool. I mean, I haven't made the mistake of putting two jobbers in a match without a lower mid card or above in I don't know how long. But just to clarify for people who don't understand, what happens now is whenever you put an opener or an enhancement talent, either one, in a match against each other, it could be a 3v3 with all openers and enhancement talents, 1v1, 2v2, it doesn't matter how many are in it. If the only participants in the match are an opener and or an enhancement talent, the match will get crapped on because openers and enhancement talents are considered jobbers. Specifically, they're to lose. And they don't want to see them in a match together because these guys are supposed to be the losers. Anyways, that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Long one, I think, because it's 10 whole things instead of 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. But I love them. I love these all. They're great. All of these are great additions. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next episode of the Total Extreme Wrestling 2016 Developers Journal / Dev Diary. Bye.